A final score 35-7 as Marshall gets their first win in district play. One player I want to mention before we go on, I wanted you to give a one-word response. I had another one down I neglected to mention, though you touched on it, and that's Tremaine Green. What's he done for the defense? I know he's helped Stanley out a good bit.
Well, Tremaine Green, if I had to say one word, I would think intelligent. Tremaine is one of those kids that you just love to coach. He really is an exceptional, not just football player, but personality. He's one of the kids that out of the 45 that you coach, it's just as important to him as it is to you. Football is such a big part of his life. He's like a coach from the standpoint that he's a fan of football. He likes to watch football. He knows who the linebackers at OU and the New York Giants are, and he knows all these things, and he knows who's winning all these games and doing this stuff. And football is really a big deal to him, and he has a great football sense. He knows zones, and he knows coverages, and he knows a lot of things that I doubt very few juniors in high school know, and not because of great coaching, simply because he's a great student of the game. I think he's probably the best student of the game defensively that we've had since we've been here. And I really think he's going to be just an exceptional talent, and I'm sure he's going to be highly recruited next year. Right now, he's as strong a football player. I think he and Stanley Thomas and Alfred Jackson will be three names that will have to be named as Defensive Players of the Year. I think that when this season's over, if they continue playing the way they are, that those three kids are going to have an opportunity, one of those three, to be named the best defensive football player in this league. And I think that's a great honor to be in there with Stanley and Alfred, because I know they're going to be in there.
And I'm sure those three names are going through Coach Culpepper's head right now. We'll get to the Lufkin game in just a minute.
If you were a senior in high school and lettered in any type of sport, and particularly football here in East Texas, big day for the guys and the moms and dads too, Kyle.
I think for everybody involved, even the fans of the teams, are really glad to see some of their kids sign and get to go to college for free on a scholarship. Well, dreams do come true, and they came true today for some East Texas high school students who signed letters of intent to play college football. Locally, it all got started out in Marshall, where 6 players from the Mavs committed to play for a variety of colleges. The most noteworthy linebacker, Tremaine Green, who was recruited by USC, LSU, Oklahoma, and Miami. It had been rumored he was going to Miami, but he says it was OU all along.
Sooners, they've always been my dream, so, I couldn't let my dream die. That's why I chose OU.
Green will wear the number of his OU hero, Brian Bosworth, number 44. Several Mavs will play their college ball in the area. Bo Sevier and Lorenzo Washington will play for former Mavs coach Dennis Parker at North Texas. D.D. Turner will play for Tyler Junior College. He'll be a running back down there. There's Terrence Shaw. He's going to Stephen F. Austin. Daley Johnson is off to Utah to play for the Brigham Young Cougars.
Season began early this morning. Out in Marshall, wide receiver Bo Cervea was the first to sign as he and cornerback Lorenzo Washington find themselves teammates for 4 more years under the charge of their high school coach, Dennis Parker at North Texas.
Close to home, and I knew both of the coaches real well, whereas, anybody else, when they go to a, college or a higher institute of learning, you have to get to know the coaches and everything, but I already, knew these coaches, so, I kind of had a feel for, what was going to happen, and I could talk to them about anything that I wanted to.
Basically, I think my choice for going to UNT is that I really get a chance to play and, show other people, what I really can do, and as well as my academic achievements.
And while Daley Johnson decided Provo, Utah, and BYU was the place to be, 2 other Mavericks, D.D. Turner and Terrence Shaw, decided there's no place like home, Turner signing with Tyler Junior College and Shaw with Stephen F. Austin.
I wanted to go to North Texas, but then I went down to Stephen F., and they were it was like a tie. And then I just had to make a choice, come down to a choice.
Tremaine Green had plenty of choices. Many, in fact, thought he'd be Miami-bound. But today, one of the state's best linebackers celebrated his birthday by fulfilling a dream and signing with Oklahoma.
I thought about Miami, after winning all during the 80s and the great defensive scheme that they've been playing over the past couple of years. But I've been an OU fan all my life, and, it's been a dream of mine to play there. So I couldn't just let my dream die.
We interrupt our programming to bring you the following special report. We have lots of multi-sport stars in Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan. Also, there's another one, and he's an OU football player. Listen.
You want me just as much as I want you.
And finally, every athlete has an athletic personality and another side. The problem is fans don't often see that other side, but Myron Patton went out and found one athlete who is willing and trying to show that other side.
You want me just as much as I want you. Let's stop fooling around.
You may not recognize the face, but if you're an OU football fan, you'll know his name. That face and voice belongs to Sooner linebacker Tremaine Green.
My grandmother used to make me go to church, and I was involved with the choir. And I came up through school. I was always involved with athletics, but I started, going through the choir deal, and I made all-state choir in 7th and 8th grade.
Tremaine sounds a lot like pop star Prince, which is fine by him since Prince is his favorite performer. Tremaine is known as one of the Sooners' hardest hitters. Most would not place him in the mode of a love song artist.
I can't help the way I sing. A lot of girls tease me. They'll say, God, you're so big. You shouldn't be singing that high. You should be singing strong, tough, kind of stuff. But I can't help it. I mean, just, I sing high. That's my voice. It's always been that way.
Tremaine told me that when he got hurt in the Texas game last season, it made him think about his future outside of football. Performing with the mic in hand has become his focal point. A professional football career is still a possibility, but his love for music is definitely there.
I came here and I was so stuck on football, and I started playing football. It didn't occur to me until the injury last year, whenever I got hurt against Texas, that this is what I needed to do. It was kind of like a wake-up call for me.
So would you rather have a music career or a football career?
Music career, definitely, but football, I'm going to go as far as it'll take me. I love to do both. That's my dream at night.
Myron Patton, 5 Sports.
Tremaine suffered a pinched nerve last season. It's still not clear whether he will be able to play or not next season. He's seen 3 different doctors, one saying yes, the other saying no, and he's waiting on the decision from the third, but obviously a sharp young man with a lot of talent. Really a nice guy.
I don't mind the high voice either. Sounds good to me.
Oh, you bet.
Either career could be profitable.
Whichever one's the most profitable to begin with. Yeah.
Thank you, Dean.
Now continue with our regularly scheduled programming.
You think OJ's guilty?
Tremaine. Later in the week, and up north, it's always. Sooners got some good news today. Linebacker Tremaine Green has been given the okay by a district judge to return to football. OU will meet Syracuse Saturday night. Green was injured last season. Team doctors didn't want him to play.
Or not next season. He's seen 3 different doctors, one saying yes, the other saying no, and he's waiting on the decision from the third, but obviously a sharp young man with a lot of talent. Really a nice guy.
I don't mind the high voice either. Sounds good to me.
Oh, you bet.
Either career could be profitable.
Whichever one's the most profitable to begin with. Yeah.
Thank you, Dean. Tremaine. Later in the week, and up north, it's always. Sooners got some good news today. Linebacker Tremaine Green has been given the okay by a district judge to return to football. OU will meet Syracuse Saturday night. Green was injured last season. Team doctors didn't want him to play. However, he received clearance from 2 other doctors and took OU to court, so he will be on the traveling squad this weekend. Yesterday, kicker
against the University of Oklahoma. Linebacker Tremaine Green was cleared to play today in a Cleveland County court. Ironically, Judge Pat Herron ruled in favor of Green and against the school, which said it would not give Green his medical release. Green is a tremendous linebacker, but he's battled a severe pinched nerve injury. At least one member of OU's medical staff said Green should not play, while a doctor with the Philadelphia Eagles and a doctor with the famous Jobe Clinic in L.A. said he could play. Coach Gary Gibbs took the stand today on behalf of Green, testifying Green has NFL potential and that the player is capable of making his own decision. The judge agreed. Green signed a waiver clearing the school of any responsibility. It is uncertain if he will play on Saturday. The lines are out today for the
13th to 18th. Play their opener on Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. our time, in Syracuse, New York, against Syracuse University. I'll be on hand to broadcast the game on radio. Today, linebacker Tremaine Green of the Sooners, who had filed suit against OU to allow him to play football, was told by a judge here in the city that he is old enough to make his own decisions. Tremaine, who suffered a pinched nerve in last year's OU-Texas game, signed a waiver clearing OU of responsibility in case of future injury, and he apparently will play Saturday against Syracuse. At least he apparently is cleared to play. And we had an upset at the U.S. Open tennis tournament today.
Free to get your free information packet about Children's Major Medical and face the future with a name you trust. Blue Cross and Blue over for another year. But the Buick Pro
Patricia Heron granted Tremaine Green, linebacker, an injunction, meaning the University of Oklahoma could not prevent Green from playing football. Green signed a waiver of potential liability, absolving the University of Oklahoma in the event of future injury. Green suffered a pinched nerve in his neck, you might remember, in the 1993 Texas game, and has gotten contradicting opinions.
Linebacker Tremaine Green is back on the team and able to play. A district judge ruling today that OU cannot prevent him from playing, even if doing so might endanger him physically. Green, as you know, was injured in last year's Texas game, a pinched nerve in his neck. The OU doctors told him not to play anymore, but he got the okay from a couple of other doctors. Today, the judge gave him the okay to play football, so apparently a victory for him. He hasn't played in a while and says that may take a while for him to get back in the flow.
Mentally, not too well, but I hope to get that all resolved. I still have 4 days left, so I hope to get that all resolved.
He feels good about the risk. He feels good about everything that's been explained to him, and he's ready to pursue a football career.
That's the main. Green was suited up and went through practice today. He'll be on the traveling squad when OU opens at Syracuse this Saturday night.